They left for the big family trip for cars, 17 people, one group chat without me. I woke up to an empty house. When I called, Mom said, "We thought you were in the van with your cousins." I said nothing. 2 hours later, my sister accidentally sent me a screenshot meant for her friend. "He's really not here? OMG. Our plan worked." I just replied, "Merry Christmas." Then I quietly canceled the $12,500 booking. And then came step 2. At 8:03 a.m., I had 101 missed calls. One just said, "Emergency." It must feel good not being included. My uncle had said last Christmas, half laughing, half serious, after I'd offered to pay for the family dinner. Makes things easier when people forget you. I thought it was a joke. I laughed too. But now I know it wasn't. This year, I woke up in a silent house on December 23rd. No messages. No knocking. No breakfast smells. Just a quiet so thick it felt like insulation. The living room was spotless, except for a stray charging cable and 2 pine needles near the door. My suitcase was still in the hallway, unopened from the last work trip. My toothbrush dry. My wallet untouched. I thought maybe I was dreaming. Or maybe they were running late. So I called. Mom picked up on the second ring, like she wasn't expecting it. I said, "Hey, where is everyone?" There was a pause. The kind that swells like water behind a dam. She said, "We thought you were in the van with your cousins." I said nothing. Just like that, 17 people, for cars, one giant family trip, and no one had noticed I wasn't there. Not a single call. Not a check-in. Not even a seat saved. She said, "I swear, I thought Zach told me you were in car 2. Maybe there was a mix-up." Another silence. Then I hung up. I didn't yell. I didn't ask why I wasn't on the group chat. Why I was left out of the planning. Why I'd helped pay for that Airbnb in the mountains. Yes, $12,500 on my credit card, and still wasn't counted. 2 hours later, my phone lit up. It was a screenshot. From my sister, Emma. I could tell it was meant for someone else, probably her friend Caitlin. It showed the group chat. 17 names. A pinned message about the itinerary. Underneath, her text read, "He's really not here? OMG. Our plan worked." I just stared at it. I didn't write back right away. I didn't call her. I just sat down at the kitchen table, opened my laptop, logged into the Airbnb account, and quietly hit cancel. The refund processed in seconds. The money would return to my card within 3 to 5 business days. Then I sent one message back. "Merry Christmas." No punctuation. No emojis. No rage. Just a line they'd remember. 30 minutes later, my phone started buzzing. 42 missed calls. Then 70. Then one message that just said, "Emergency." I turned my phone off. Because now it was time for step 2. The first call I answered was from Dad. His voice was raw like he'd been screaming already. "What did you do? You canceled the whole house?" "No," I said calmly. "I canceled my booking. It just happened to be the entire booking. Because it was on my card." "You think this is a joke?" he growled. "There are 17 people standing outside a cabin in the snow. You think I'm a joke," I said, and hung up. I turned my phone back on an hour later. By then, the panic had become orchestral. Missed calls from my mother, Aunt Marianne, Cousin Leo, Emma again, even her boyfriend Zach, who had apparently become family faster than I could even get a group invite. I didn't respond. I just watched. Because for the first time in years, I wasn't scrambling to fix what they broke. Backstory they didn't expect me to tell. For 3 years straight, I paid for every holiday rental. "We'll send you our share later" never came. Every birthday gift for cousins? On me. Every time Emma's car broke down, guess who she called? Not because I was her brother, but because I was the default. Mom once told me, "You're the responsible one. That's why we lean on you." No, I was the quiet one. That's why they thought I wouldn't fight back. They used me like a credit card that never expired. Fake apologies and real lies. By Christmas Eve, they were desperate. Mom texted, "We didn't mean to exclude you. There was just a lot going on with Emma's kids and Zach's visa. Please let's not ruin Christmas." I didn't answer. Emma posted on Instagram from a roadside diner near the mountains. Black coffee, messy hair, and a caption. "Family means not always agreeing, but always forgiving." I laughed. The comments were all sympathy. "Stay strong, babe. Hope things calm down soon. People show who they are when it matters most." And then I saw it. A story from her private account, one I wasn't supposed to follow anymore. Screenshot of our family group chat, minus me. Caption. "He's finally out. Can't believe it took this long." Below it, A photo of the Airbnb refund email, the one I received. They planned it. Knew I'd fund the trip. Knew I'd be excluded. And they thought I'd still pay. I checked my statements. Not just Airbnb. Emma had used my Netflix, my Spotify, my Amazon Prime, including several next-day orders for hiking gear. None of it for me. None of it with me. But all on my tab. Then I saw it. A $780 charge to a ski rental store in Aspen. I'd never even been skiing. They'd used my login, my auto-filled card, my identity. I screenshotted everything. Then I checked the family group chat from 2 years ago when Emma begged me to help her consolidate her debt, just for 3 months. It had been 31. Silence turned into sabotage. On Christmas night, I posted something. Not public. Not yet. Just a close friend story with a screenshot of the refund confirmation and the caption. Turns out, I wasn't as invisible as they thought. By the next morning, I had messages from people I hadn't heard from in years. Cousin Leo. Hey man, I had no idea they didn't invite you. That's messed up. I only came 'cause they said you couldn't make it. Aunt Marianne. You were paying for all of this? I thought your mom and dad covered the house. I'm shocked. But the real gold came from Zach, Emma's boyfriend, the tag-along prince. He texted me, nervous at first. Then he wrote, Dude, I didn't know about any of this. I thought you were just staying back for work. Emma said you volunteered to cover the Airbnb. Then, she said you didn't like being around people anymore. That you were fragile. Fragile. The same word Dad had used last year after I told him I was burned out from work. Fragile boys don't last long in real life. What Zach revealed broke everything open. Zach called that evening, voice shaky. He told me everything. Emma had been planning the perfect family trip since October. Her words, not mine. She called it her Christmas rebrand. New vibe, new family structure, no drama, which apparently meant no me. She told Zach she'd handle the Airbnb. Then she let it slip to Mom that I had volunteered to cover it. She never told anyone I was coming, never added me to the travel doc, never invited me to any of the planning Zooms. She said you'd just get in the way, Zach whispered, that you ruined the mood. He told me he tried to push back, said I should be included, and Emma told him, don't worry, he's used to being left out. He won't even notice. I hung up without saying a word. The evidence folder begins. That night, I started a new folder. I named it, Used. Screenshots, emails, Emma's Instagram stories, the Amazon invoices, the Airbnb charges, old messages where they told me I was part of the family, but always somehow the last to know, the first to pay. Then I opened a new tab, typed $12, 500 Airbnb chargeback plus fraud, and began my next step. They thought I was gone, that I'd sulk in silence like I always did, that I'd retreat to my little apartment with my half-finished puzzles and unspoken grudges and let them celebrate without interruption. They were wrong. Because while they were hiking through snow trails and smiling for photos and coordinated flannels, I was already 10 steps ahead. And I knew where they were. How? Because Emma, brilliant strategist that she is, had forgotten that my Spotify account was still logged into her phone. She'd been using my premium for months, no ads, unlimited skips. But more importantly, it showed me her GPS pin. I watched her move across the map in real time. The cabin, the store, the trails, and then the Christmas dinner reservation. 7 p.m., Mountain Hearth Lodge, Aspen Room. I booked a table. Same lodge. 1 hour earlier. I packed my laptop, the folder marked, Used, a printed stack of every transaction from my card, and my phone with the screenshots queued up. I threw on a suit I hadn't worn since my last job interview and drove up the mountain in silence. Just me, the engine, and the fury. 7 p.m., the Aspen Room. They were already seated when I arrived. 4 tables pushed together. 17 people. The real family. My seat, of course, was empty. I watched from across the room for a moment. Mom was smiling nervously. Dad was pouring wine like a senator. Emma was scrolling through her phone, probably checking how many likes her blessed Christmas post had racked up. Zach looked miserable. Then I walked over. Dead quiet. Forks froze midair. I started. Someone, I think it was Aunt Julia, muttered, "Oh no." "Hey everyone," I said cheerfully. "I heard we were doing Christmas dinner." No one spoke. Then Emma, "This is not your reservation." I smiled. "Actually, it is. You're sitting under my name. The one that paid for the lodge package. Check the receipt." Dad stood up. "You're making a scene." "No," I said. "I'm making a point." I pulled out my laptop, opened the folder, and turned the screen toward the table. "Let's take a look." I said. The moment it all fell apart. First, the Airbnb invoice. My name. My card. $12,500. Then the refund confirmation. Timestamped. Then the text from Emma. He's really not here? OMG. Our plan worked. Emma tried to speak. I held up my hand. Then we have the Amazon orders. Hiking gear, ski boots, Emma's new parka, all on my Prime. Next, Netflix, Spotify, Uber, all me. I turned to my parents. Here's your grocery delivery receipts. The ones you said came from your pension. That's funny. This card says otherwise. Then I pulled out the final sheet. A single, printed screenshot. It was Emma's private story. He's finally out. Can't believe it took this long. Dead silence. Mom looked like she'd swallowed glass. Dad clenched his jaw so tight I thought he might crack a tooth. Zach. Zach stood up slowly, cleared his throat, and said, "Yeah, I'm done." Emma turned. "What? You're seriously?" He held up a hand. "I try to give you the benefit of the doubt. But this is cruel. You used him. Lied to all of us. And for what? A photo op." She stammered. "You don't understand." "I understand enough," he snapped. "I'm not staying another night in that cabin. You people are impossible." The family fracture. Aunt Marianne whispered something to Mom. Uncle Leo said out loud, "I didn't know you were paying for all this, man. I thought you just didn't want to come." Dad finally exploded. "This is exactly why we didn't invite you. You always act like a victim. Always trying to make people feel guilty." I stepped closer. "No," I said. "I act like someone who's tired of paying for the privilege of being ignored." Then I pulled out the final thing, a portable speaker. I hit play. Emma's voice filled the room. "Don't worry, he's used to being left out. He won't even notice." It was her. Clear as glass. A voice memo from a month ago, sent to Zach. Saved automatically in the chat. Emma lunged forward. "Turn it off." I turned it up. Mom stood up. "Please, we can talk about this." "No," I said. "Talking time is over." Then I pulled out a single card. Business card size. Simple serif font. It read, "This dinner was paid for by the one you left behind. Bon appetit." I placed it in the center of the table, closed my laptop, and walked out. Behind me, I heard chairs scrape. A plate clatter. Someone muttering, "Jesus Christ." Outside, the snow had just started to fall. By the time I got back to the city, my story was already echoing through the cracks. Zach had driven straight home after the dinner and made a short but powerful post. Sometimes you find out too late that the people closest to you are capable of orchestrating cruelty like it's a holiday plan. He didn't name anyone. He didn't have to. People connected the dots. Fast. I went public. The next morning, I posted a thread. No dramatic caption. Just this. They left for the big family trip. 4 cars, 17 people. And one group chat without me. I woke up alone in the house I paid for. 2 hours later, I got a message meant for someone else. He's really not here? OMG. Our plan worked. So I canceled the $12,500 booking. And then I pressed play on the truth. Underneath, screenshots of transactions, the voice memo, the messages, the lodge receipt, and my final dinner table photo, 17 people frozen in silence while I walked away. It blew up. Thousands of likes, retweets, comments, DMs. People shared their own stories. The sibling who always took. The parents who manipulated with guilt. The relatives who only remembered your name when the rent was due. Someone wrote, "You didn't just cancel Christmas. You reclaimed it." Mom messaged me the next evening. "Please delete that post. People are calling. We're embarrassed. This wasn't supposed to go public." Then, "Your father says you've gone too far. He's thinking of talking to a lawyer." Then, "Emma hasn't stopped crying." I didn't respond. The next day, Emma messaged too. Just one line. "You ruined everything." I finally replied, "No, Emma. I revealed it. A new kind of Christmas." On December 26th, I uploaded a video. Just me. One chair. White background. Calm voice. "I didn't want to do this. But you made me the villain before I even knew there was a script. You planned a trip with my money, without my name. Then laughed when I wasn't there. So here's the truth. Not for revenge, but for record. I laid it out. The silent years of being the dependable one. The way they'd used me, excluded me, then tried to gaslight me into silence. I played the voice memo. I ended with this. "If you're watching this and you've ever been the one left behind, here's your sign. It's not your fault. It's theirs." The video hit 3 million views in a week. They tried to save face. Dad posted a half apology on Facebook. Families fight. But real men don't air dirty laundry. Uncle Leo commented, Should have just invited him. Emma tried to pivot. She posted an Instagram story with a black screen. People change when you stop letting them manipulate you. I see clearly now. I laughed out loud. She really tried to rebrand herself as the victim of the story she wrote. The unexpected reaction. Then something strange happened. 3 of my younger cousins, the quiet ones, the overlooked ones, messaged me separately. Each said a version of the same thing. Thank you for saying what we couldn't. One even said, I saw myself in your video. I thought I was crazy. Now I know I'm not. That hit me harder than anything. It wasn't just my story. It was a blueprint for getting out. Then came the business offer. I got a message from a content platform I'd never heard of. They offered to license my story as a short docu-series, anonymous, narrated, visualized. I said yes, with one condition. I don't want to be famous. I want people like me to feel seen. They agreed. Then another email came in from a law firm. Not for me. For them. Apparently, Emma had used my name and financial details on a health insurance application to get better coverage. Fraudulent. Traceable. Legal consequences pending. No more silent generosity. On New Year's Eve, I posted one final story. A photo of my apartment. Cozy. Clean. A glass of wine on the windowsill. Caption. This year, I unwrapped the truth. And it was better than anything I ever got under the tree. No likes from family. Only hearts from strangers. And a few allies I never knew I had. I spent the night watching fireworks alone. And I've never felt more free. On January 3rd, I changed my number. No warning. No goodbye texts. No just in case you need me. I let it die like a forgotten voicemail on a phone nobody charges anymore. I watched the last few messages come in like clockwork. Emma, are you really going to erase all of us? Dad, you made your point. Now act like a man and fix this. Mom, you're still my son. That matters more than anything, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Because what I finally understood, what burned through every leftover excuse in my chest, is that I was never included by love. I was included by utility. The second I stopped paying, stopped absorbing, stopped apologizing, I was no longer family. I was noise. A problem. A threat to their narrative. I didn't ghost them. I outgrew them. I signed the lease on a new place. Downtown. 27th floor. South-facing windows. No spare bedrooms. No couch large enough to crash on. The first thing I unpacked was the photo of me at the dinner. The moment just before I walked away from the table of 17. I framed it. Hung it in the hallway. Not as a trophy. As a reminder. Never beg to be where they don't want you. The message they couldn't ignore. On January 8th, I got a letter. Real paper. Stamped envelope. From my parents' lawyer. Our clients are concerned about reputational damage. They request that you remove any public-facing posts and issue a clarifying statement indicating that your social media material is fictionalized. It was laughable. So I responded. My material is factual, documented, and protected. If you proceed, discovery will include bank records, text archives, voice memos, and eyewitnesses. Also, good luck with the fraud investigation into Emma's insurance claim. That one wasn't even my report. I never heard from that lawyer again. I built something bigger than revenge. Within 6 weeks of going public, I'd been invited to guest on 3 podcasts, 1 panel on toxic family dynamics, and a docuseries shoot in Toronto. I turned most of them down, but I did one. The first. The host asked me, "What do you say to people who tell you blood is thicker than water?" I smiled and said, "Then don't be surprised when your own family tries to drown you." The final gesture. And then came the sign. Literally. I opened a small co-working space on the edge of the city. Creative types, freelancers, people who'd clawed their way out of messes and needed somewhere to rebuild. I called it Not Included. Under the name, in smaller text. A place for the ones who got left off the invite. On opening day, I taped something to the front desk. A printout of that first message from Emma. He's really not here? OMG. Our plan worked. Framed under glass. With one sentence typed below. And now I am. I don't miss them. I miss who I pretended they were. Sometimes people ask me if I've forgiven them. I tell them, I've released them. That's not the same. I don't hate them. I don't wish them harm. I just don't carry them anymore. I don't answer unknown numbers. I don't check old threads. I don't walk past mirrors and wonder what I could have done differently. Because the truth is, I did everything right. And they still chose to leave without me. My last words to them were quiet, but final. Christmas card season came early this year. I printed just one. Sent it to my parents' house. Inside, a photo of me in front of the Not Included sign. No caption, no return address, just one post-it note tucked inside. Next time, try paying for your own vacation. I wasn't forgotten. I was erased. But I turned it into a billboard. And now they get to drive past it every day. But they don't get to come inside. Not anymore.